Is LinkedIn even worth it anymore? Isn't it just for corporate posts and job hunting? A lot of people are saying that LinkedIn is dead in 2025. It's just a waste of time for your business. The better place to be is Instagram and TikTok because everyone is moving there. But I've got a different perspective backed by real world numbers. In this video, I'll show you why LinkedIn isn't just alive, but it's thriving. And it is the number one place you should be in order to grow your business and attract B2B clients. And just to be completely upfront, I've worked on 100+ client accounts. So I have the experience, but I don't want to make this a sales pitch. I want to give you the raw data, the raw numbers, the raw intuition that we have on this platform so that you can make an educated decision for yourself. Is LinkedIn the platform that you want to invest into in 2025, or are you going to ignore it and focus on other channels instead? So let's dive in, look at the numbers, look at the trends, and try to identify what's going on. And as a bonus, I'm going to give you some cheat sheets, some playbooks, some ways to get results within 30 days on LinkedIn so that you can start generating clients if that's the place that you believe your clients are spending their time in 2025. First, let me show you what makes LinkedIn different. Now, if we compare it to Instagram, the entertainment first, business second social platform, around 62% of people are between the ages of 18 to 34, making it a predominantly young user base. Now, because it's an entertainment first platform, you don't actually see that much business content out there. And the fact there is some is mainly due to the vastness of the platform. It is probably one of the biggest social platforms we have right now in existence. But if you're someone that doesn't have many visual images, Instagram is predominantly a visual platform. There are around 1.3 billion photos shared every single day. And now, whilst Instagram has that huge content base, only around 15% of people are even using it for news consumption. Now, I know news isn't business, but we can think of that as a proxy. There isn't much business consumption on Instagram. And so naturally, this makes it a relatively challenging place for you to grow a B2B business. If you don't have much visual content, you can't really tap into those reels, and you haven't got a product that really speaks to that younger audience demographic. And then we can compare it to TikTok, where you're essentially fighting for 3-second attention spans. I wouldn't really recommend anyone spend much time on TikTok if they want to drive their B2B business forward and they weren't trying to sell some cool course or coaching program in the back end. Now, for this reason, I really wouldn't spend much time on TikTok, and I know you probably feel this very intuitively too. Most transactions, as you can see, and the monetization of TikTok is moving to B2C and through TikTok Shop, which is mainly apparel, mainly cheap goods, and it's just not the sort of place you want to be doing a high value B2B transaction. Then we might think about X, and you know what? I actually really like X. I spent a lot of time on X. Before we were doing LinkedIn ghostwriting, we had spent a lot of time doing Twitter ghostwriting, and I have a lot of people and friends that made a lot of money on Twitter selling courses, coaching programs, high ticket services, e-com agencies, like the whole shebang. But what we've discovered, and I really felt this around 2 years ago, is the platform just started to die off a little bit. There just became a much bigger opportunity on another platform, which obviously I'm going to mention right now, compared to what I saw on Twitter, which was a changing of the algorithm, a changing of prioritization features, and a changing of how generally the algorithm works. And as a result, it just meant that Twitter was a harder place to compete on compared to what was and is the number one place, in my opinion, B2B platform, LinkedIn. Now, here's what makes LinkedIn different to any single platform, and it's actually the mindset. You firstly have to really think about, let's take a step back. What is the main reason that people use LinkedIn? Now, I've thought about this for so many angles, from career hunting down to selling services, down to just trying to get information. And what I've discovered is the main reason that people use LinkedIn is for growth. In one simple word, they are using LinkedIn in order to grow themselves, to grow their career, to grow their business. They're scrolling LinkedIn because they're looking for the latest tactics in order to grow. They're trying to keep up with their competition, and they're trying to get an edge. Now, what that means is everyone is using LinkedIn to grow and to feel better and to make their business and their career better. If you're able to plug a solution that also helps them grow in any sort of way, you are in direct alignment to what the platform wants and what the mindset is. Now, there is no other platform on this planet that has such a clear business mindset that you can align with and therefore sell services into. It's almost as if you're swimming in a pool of people with their wallets out who are actively shopping, looking to buy, and are very open to hearing your pitch. And this is clear because CEOs are spending 2 hours of the day there, people are actively searching for solutions, and the number of decision makers concentrated on LinkedIn is absolutely incredible. Now, if you've ever tried to sell something to anyone, you know that the person needs to be willing to buy before you can pitch them anything. Otherwise, the sales process is incredibly difficult. And this is just the main reason why, when you think about it from a very deep and fundamental point, why LinkedIn is just so amazing. But here's the best part about LinkedIn in 2025. And I'm going to go through 4 very specific points. Number 1 is the amount of data available. There is probably no platform on earth again that has this much firmographic and personal data available for you to access within literal clicks. You can find a list of your whole total addressable market in literally minutes with a few clicks on LinkedIn Sales Navigator. You can collect that data, you can then push it into an automation tool or an outreach tool, or just DM them manually and be speaking to CEOs of huge companies in literally under 5 clicks. And if you know how lead databases work, and you might think, oh well, Apollo has this, ZoomInfo has this, everyone basically gets their data from LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the source of all this data, and everyone is enriching on top. So we are going to the first source of all this amazing, powerful data that you can use to find the right clients for your business, whether it's a car franchisee dealer, or it's an accountancy in Dubai, or it's a SaaS company that's just raised in the US. The second reason, which is incredibly compelling, is the arbitrage between competition and impression. What we're seeing on LinkedIn, because LinkedIn has almost been a platform where it hasn't been really served well with content, that it's very, very easy to have a post do anything from 1,000 to 10,000 impressions. Now, I don't know how much you know about social platforms, but getting 1,000 impressions on a post with like hardly any followers is pretty incredible. And when you consider who's looking at those posts, i.e. people that are willing to buy your services, you're in an incredibly interesting place. At any point in a social media platform's journey, you have this time where no one's using the platform, then suddenly the platform gets very popular, and during that time, impressions are really cheap, and not in the sense of what you need to pay for them, but in the sense of what you need to do for them to get the impressions. You could spin up a post in 20 minutes and then have 3,000 people have seen that post and seen your name associated with it. That's an incredibly powerful arbitrage when you compare that to, let's say, an Instagram where you can just about get 100 people to look at your short form video, but they scroll through really quickly, maybe 50 people on Twitter on a new account. It's just such a huge difference when you compare it to how many impressions you're able to get on LinkedIn. And it's because there's such low competition for content. If you just create content, you're already in the top 5, top 10, top even 1% on LinkedIn. Crazily, and it gets even more crazy, you don't even need to have high production. You can have a text-based post. I mean, that means literally just text, no image, nothing else, just a bit of good copywriting, and still get that same number of impressions without working that hard. It's an absolute steal for the amount of time you need to put into it. The next reason is the ROI. There is such a high ROI with LinkedIn because if you're using a social content platform, it's essentially acting as a 24/7 salesperson. You can put out a single post in 20 minutes and book in multiple calls from that singular post. Just to think about that, you're getting one piece of work for, let's say, 5 to 10 calls coming in. Now, if you scale that, every single day you're posting, you can be like us, and we're booking in over the last 90 days, 268 calls, all from posting across 2 profiles. That's 40 posts having generated 268 calls. The arbitrage is absolutely wild. And when you consider how the platform works, it works on a network base. Your post goes out to your first degree connections and then to your second degree if it passes some engagement thresholds. And as a result, every single connection you have can see your content, but you can also DM that person really easily. That every connection is a potential client in some format, or is a potential conversation, a potential booked call, a potential for you to grow your business. And naturally, the objection here is going to be, oh, I don't have many followers. You don't need many followers. I had an account that I was literally just helping. Under 100 followers, we booked in 5 calls off their first post. It's absolutely wild. We had another client, they did a lead magnet post, they booked in 7 calls, and in December they closed $20,000 of new revenue, and they'd been working with me for literally around 2 months. And personally, we have 2 profiles. They're both sitting at around 10k followers now. And yeah, we booked in 268 calls in the last 90 days. But when my co-founder's profile, Paolo, was at 2,500 followers, which is basically nothing in the grand scheme of things, he was still booking in 20 to 30 calls a month, which is absolutely wild. And it's the same thing that can happen for your business if your ICP lives on LinkedIn and if you're willing to invest into the platform. And then finally, the one that captures everything, it is incredibly quick to see results on LinkedIn. And that's because it has this DM feature, and it has certain parts of the algorithm that we can trick into working into our favor. What I mean by that is we can run these posts, which we call lead magnet posts, that go absolutely viral, get hundreds, if not sometimes thousands of people in your DMs, which you can have one-on-one back and forth conversations with. Or we can just grow quite normally through normal posts and just DM every single person that interacts with us, and it would be ludicrous not to believe you don't book in 5, 10, 15 calls in the next 30 days alone. It's an incredibly simple system to follow, which is a combination of your content, your profile, and your DMs. And when you put it all together, you can pretty much work in any B2B niche, provided your ideal prospects, again, are spending time on LinkedIn. If they spend time on LinkedIn, you are in for a great money grab. So there you have it. LinkedIn isn't just alive in 2025. It's probably the best B2B platform that you can use to grow your business. Now, if you want to learn our exact system for booking in 15 to 30 calls a month, you can purchase our complete course below. And I priced it so that's incredibly affordable. You get all our templates, all our content scripts, all our DM scripts, all so that you can book in 5 calls in the next 7 days. Guaranteed. Or if you want to work one-on-one with me, you can scroll down below as well and book in a call after watching a video, just to make sure you're the right person for us. And finally, if you don't want to do anything just yet, I've got a video down below that describes how you can make $100,000 per month from LinkedIn with the full system. So just scroll down below, click those links, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.